Hi, I'm Luke. I use he, him pronouns.
I'm Devin. I also use he, him pronouns.
And we normally host the podcast Multiversal Q /
Exiled. / Altiversal Q.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for, Devin. And we are here because we've been... I don't remember what the whole setup thing for this was.
Me neither.
Like, monitors and anti-monitors, and... Do you know about the anti-monitor, Devin?
He's going to be in the new crossover thing.
Well, do you know what the monitor is?
He monitors things.
Well, it's a race of people who monitor things. They're like the Watchers, except different.
Are they as cool?
There's a lot more of them in each universe, I think, and they keep 52 worlds in a giant orrery called the Orrery of Worlds.
You're looking at their picture. They don't look as cool, though.
No, I mean, there's some good ones. There's also Mandrak, the Dark Monitor, who's different than the Anti-Monitor. Mandrak is a vampire who eats hope, and Superman defeats him by singing a song.
Oh, that's good.
A wishing machine. Yeah.
But they just kind of look like normal dudes. They don't have that fun Uatu big-ass head.
No, and then Anti-Monitor just looks like a bad Iron Man villain. But, yeah, we are here covering the 90s Flash.
Specifically from 1990 to 1991.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he does look like a bad... Wait, no, actually, I like this one picture of Anti-Monitor. He looks like, what's his name? Man Ray.
Oh, okay. I mean, you want to link me that picture?
Let's link Luke that picture.
Link Luke that picture. Link Luke that picture. Link Luke that picture.
I'm looking at my phone, so it's going to be sent to you via Facebook.
Yeah. No, I got Facebook up on my laptop.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. No, he looks like Man Ray. Yeah, that is the day the universe dies. But, yeah, Flash TV show. It's the 90s Flash TV show. And we do have a sort of outline that we're supposed to follow, but we can, I think, also just say, screw that, because we're wild boys, Devin.
There's an outline?
Yeah. It was sent on the email.
Shit.
I know. Well, it says... name, pronouns, any projects, podcasts, or anything you do, and anything to help the listener know a little bit about who you are.
Let's send Devin.
I'm the short one. I'm the short one. Devin's the tall one.
Truth. Oh, there it is. Episode guides.
Based on Looney Tunes rules, that means that I'm the pushy one, but Devin is the one that will kill the rabbit, and so I have to put him out of his misery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love the thing. So yeah, this Flash TV show, we watched the 93-minute pilot, which I'm glad I watched it without ads on the DC Universe app.
Same.
Basically, John Wesley Shipp, who plays Barry Allen, the Flash, is a crime forensic Scientologist. No, not Scientologist. What's the word? Forensic scientist?
Yeah.
God, a forensic Scientologist. Can you imagine?
There's a lot of thetans here on the ground.
It looks like, once again, it was Gantu. No, Gantu is the shark man from Lilo and Stitch.
Yes. God damn it, Luke.
We're recording late tonight. So you get all this quality content.
Someone has been crushed and bludgeoned in the head with the weird cans that we use to measure.
Looks like teens are at it again, Lou. Cancel the prom. Did you like that
I
one?
did.
But yeah. So because nobody has heard of forensic science before, everyone's like, oh yeah, you suck, especially compared to your brother Jay Allen, who is the head of the Central City Police Department.
With a nice nod to Jay Garrick.
Yeah, it's weird because he also looks like 20 years older because he has that white hair.
Oh, 100%. I thought it was like the dad or something at first.
Or like the dad's friend who was a secondary father figure because his dad is a piece of shit.
Dad is a piece of shit.
You would not have Barry trying to get his dad out of prison if this was... No.
He would have worked and planted more evidence to make sure Dad stayed away.
Yeah. Yeah. His brother was in a lot of things, but nothing super big. The actor who played his brother.
Yeah.
He was in Hunter.
He's Hunter?
He was Mule Mulowski / Police Sergeant Harry Trainer / Police Detective Gil Gaskow.
Nice.
Were you actually excited about me mentioning Hunter?
Well, all I think about it... Well, no, because I don't actually have any idea what TV's Hunter's about. All I know it from is when Awesome X would get excited in Frisky Dingo because he loved TV's Hunter.
Okay. But yeah, so...
Let's talk about the character that we didn't get to see that I was sad because I was looking for it when I saw his picture in one of the little future episodes on the app. Dick Miller's in at least a number of episodes as a police detective as well.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Mark Hamill as the
Well, but everyone
trickster.
knows Mark Hamill was in this show. If you know anything about Flash, because he was also in the new Flash 2 as the trickster.
Well, yeah, and so was Amanda Pays, who plays Christina Tina McGee.
I wouldn't know. I only watched the first season and a half.
Oh, and Alex Desare, who was Julio Mendez. But do you also know who else Alex Desare played?
No, who?
He was Nick Fury in Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
I did enjoy that show.
Yeah, he's been on a lot of things, but they brought back a good number of the cast members onto the show. Anyways, John Wesley Shipp is Barry Allen, who's a forensic scientist, and currently the town, which... You know how there was that period after Nolan's Batman where all the superhero movies and shows were very influenced by Nolan
100%.
Batman? This is that, but if you had everything inspired by Tim Burton Batman
100%.
instead.
First off, let's talk about that Danny Elfman 90s soundtrack. It's like, yeah, I'm into this.
Well, and even the way that the city is shot and lit.
Very much so.
Yeah, it is wild because it's like, oh, hey, there's a town here and they are all threatened by a motorcycle gang that the police are unable to stop, which is weird. And they end up raiding a weapons
That's
depot.
total 90s villains right there, though.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of great, but it's also so incredibly dated.
Oh, I agree. Here's the thing, though. I will say, I think them being influenced by Burton works way better than Nolan influencing everything.
Oh, yeah.
Burton's had that style, but it didn't go too far. And it can work with every character, more or less.
Yeah, Burton has fun with it, and I think you need that for the core of the DC universe. Because, if you get down to it, Batman is a dude dressing up in capes to avenge his parents because he was inspired by Zorro.
Yeah. 100%.
So after having a awful dinner with his family, Barry's like, oh, well, me and my girlfriend, who's a 3D graphic artist or a digital artist, I forget how they
something like that.
Like, it's weird.
Very early
there's so many-
90s computer illustration.
Yeah. Paula Marshall is the actress who plays Iris West, and
Who apparently this is the only episode she is in.
Yeah.
She
was subsequent.
That's a choice.
I mean, she is awful. She is awful.
Oh, I agree. But just for having such like a big character, such as like Iris West, just to the whole Flash mythos.
Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't want to accept Barry's proposal to her because she isn't ready to settle down and have a family. And so Barry's like, oh, well, I guess I'm going to go and work and try and solve all of these crimes.
Oh, yeah.
And while he's working at the lab with his partner, Julio Menendez, lightning strikes chemicals that get poured on him, and he passes out and then wakes up in the hospital where he was taken.
Pretty much. That was an exciting time.
It was. Also, we see that the leader of this motorcycle gang, who I totally blanked on his name again.
Oh,
motorcycle gang names.
Pike.
Yeah, Pike. Nicholas Pike, played by Michael Nader, who was Dimitri Merrick in All My Children, and also was on Dynasty, and he had a drug problem until... Oh, nope, he continued to have a drug problem.
Classic Nader.
Classic Nader. Yeah, he is the leader of the Dark Riders, different than Apocalypse's Dark Riders. He has a vendetta against the police, and so he's been able to organize all of these 90s-ass motorcycle punks to follow him. And, I mean, it's apparently working out really well, even though, like, one of the guys wants to leave with his girl, but it turns out that she doesn't love him. She just loves Pike, and so she betrays him, and they... it's not draw and quarter. What's the thing where you get tied up and the horses run and you die that way?
It's totally what it looked like was going to happen.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought draw and quarter was where you had two run in the opposite direction.
Yeah, but that's the horses. Well, usually it's four directions because you get quartered.
Yeah. But no, I thought there was a separate thing where you just have a single horse or car drag you. Anyways, yeah, he gets murdered with a motorcycle, which seems like a waste of a good motorcycle. Yeah, so we got our bad guy, Pike, and Barry gets up and he's like, oh, things are kind of weird. Like, he tries to... what is the first thing that happens? Oh, he's running with his dog.
Also, classic 90s.
His dog.
The great dog supporting character.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that dog that learned 5 tricks. Yeah, like his dog gets distracted by kids having a baseball game, and he tries to run and grab his dog, and then he runs too fast and he falls into some bushes, and then, like, later on... he
gets a flat.
When does he crash his car?
He doesn't crash the car, he gets a flat.
That's right,
because he's trying to go to Iris's art gallery opening.
Show. Yeah, and when he gets... and so he tries to go and catch the bus, but the bus leaves without him, and then he runs too fast, and he finds himself at the beach, which is 30 miles away. And then he calls Iris and is like, hey... I don't know what happened. I tried to get on a bus, and then I found myself at the beach, and Iris is like, Barry, you're such an asshole. And it's like, Iris, your boyfriend apparently had a fugue state or got knocked out and woke up after getting struck by lightning. You should kind of be concerned about him.
She's the worst.
She is. I hope her graphic design gets her a good job.
Definitely.
But yeah, So all the weird stuff is happening, and he gets reached out to by Christina McGee, a scientist at Star Labs who doesn't work with anybody else at Star Labs because she doesn't trust them, because her husband previously developed superpowers and the government tried to figure out what they were and killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's like, oh, hey, Barry, let's go and figure out what you can do. So she has him eat like a bunch of pizzas and run around a field and eventually makes a big red rubber
plus, she had to go
for
to
him.
the treadmill where I think he like clocked in at like 300 plus miles an hour. Machine
Before
broke.
the treadmill broke. Yep. So she offers to help because Barry's having weird problems like low blood sugar. Because that's apparently how they're going to try and make challenges for the Flash. It's literally his body is just really shitty.
You know what, though? That makes sense.
It does, but it also feels weird. Like, that's what you have to do when your bad guy is a motorcycle gang.
I agree, but I would just think back to like every episode of Justice League. There was always some booby trap that Flash runs into because he's too headstrong and then is knocked out for the entire fight.
Yeah. So as he's working on developing the powers, his brother Jay becomes leader of the of the Central City Motorcycle Patrol Division that is specifically going to try and stop the Dark Riders. And girl leader of the main girl of the Dark Riders gets is used in a trap.
The same trap that Jay used to bust his ex-partner.
Yeah. Then
bam,
weird.
Jay dies.
Yeah. Yeah, Jay dies like super easy.
Nope.
He was not prepared. And so Barry's like, oh, I'm so upset. I guess I'm going to use this big, thick red suit. And this is a thick Flash. Like, this is a great, meaty Flash.
John Wesley Ship's buff as fuck, yo.
Yeah, this is not a like thin runner's body. This is like Bram Stoker's Dracula blood armor Flash.
Yep, you just keep forcing that reference, Luke.
You know, I think it's apt. It's apt, Devin.
No.
Yeah, John Wesley Shipp apparently has a giant dick in his Flash suit. Like one of those night guard flashlights. Anyways. So we find out that Pike was Jay's former partner who was accused of corruption, and then he got caught and got his face messed up. And now he wants revenge, which he kind of got, but he also is now going to take over Central City, and he figures if they can take over the city, there's not going to be anything more than like a police presence that they were able to stop. Like, it's a very unthought out plan.
Oh, very much so. It's like at some point in time, the National Guard will come in. And we'll just straight up shoot you.
Yeah. Which is fair. It's also... Nicholas Pike is not a character from the comics. It's weird that they were like, oh yeah, this is going to be the person who we lead everything off with. I don't get why they made that choice.
The first one?
Yeah.
Because then you get the dramatic moment of him losing his brother.
Yeah, but you could have made it like any other Flash villain who kills,
I suppose,
his brother. It feels sort of like, oh, we have this plot for a generic superhero, and I guess we'll use the Flash.
I don't know. Everyone's like family member gets killed off by a generic character. though. Spider-Man.
Yeah, but I mean,
Batman. Technically, General Zod was generic on Krypton at the time that he blew the planet up.
well, or
Brainiac blew it up. Whatever.
But it depends on the reason. But like, it's a weird thing because Motorcycle Gang, we don't really, partially because it was a made-for-TV thing, we don't get a lot of scenes of just Flash running up to people as they're on motorcycles and knocking them out, which would have been great. But it would have also been far beyond what they could do in a TV
thing
show.
I was reading. They spent $6 million on this pilot, though. Which for 90s money,
I mean,
that's a lot.
Oh, yeah. Like, the 4 Flash suits that they had alone were like $100,000. Yeah, so Pike is like, oh, well, so Flash in a rage stops some of his people. He gets stabbed in the leg. And so after the police check in on him and are like, oh, what are you doing out here? And Barry's just like, oh, trying to live up to my brother's legacy. Tina picks him up and drives him back, and it looks like he also has super fast healing, and he wants to stop the Dark Riders, and she's like, no, because then the police will get you. He's like, I don't care, my brother, I need to avenge him. It's all right.
Plus, Iris is there and just like, yo, Pike, you hooking up with the new girl now?
Now I want to marry you. Why
bang.
don't you want to marry me?
Bam, Flash becomes a 2-pump chump.
Except that it's actually just a TV show that they're watching where a guy went and got knocked out quickly in a wrestling match. And then she's like, hey, I want Thai food. And Barry's like, oh, yeah, I can get that. And then he runs and gets back too fast. And she's like, where did he get this Thai food? And he's like, I went to the Thai restaurant. And she's like, I don't believe you. And Barry's like, yeah, but it's literally hot, fresh Thai food. So what are you doing?
I agree.
It's very weird.
At the same time, all I'm learning from watching it, I was like, dang, if you had those powers, you could just go fuck off and do whatever you want for like 30 minutes and then go get the Thai food.
Oh, yeah. Do some Pokemon Go. Though Pokemon Go would kind of be awful because if you run too fast, then it would be like, are you in a car right now? And you couldn't really catch Pokemon unless you got into a good central area.
So actually, Pokemon Go would be the worst.
So I guess you just need to run everywhere with a broadsword and then like chop down mailboxes and street signs, because that'd be kind of fun. Nobody could stop you.
No, not at all.
Yeah. They also captured the girlfriend of Pike, and they're like, oh, we can't get anything out of her. And so Barry comes in and is like, hey, I heard all these people talking crazy because they saw a demon in red. Well, I know that fucking demon, and if you don't tell me what's going to go on, I will attack you. And she doesn't give up anything, but he uses his forensic science to figure out where their base is. And when he gets there, there's only 2 people, so he does pranks on them and beats them up, and then finds out that, he finds out that, Pike is going to break everybody out of prison and then give them guns. Which is bad. So Flash goes to the prison, and there's a standoff with the police because there's so many machine guns that Pike gave everybody. So Barry just steals them, and then he starts to get low on blood sugar before he can get to Pike, and he's like, oh no, I guess this is going to be an even fight to build drama. And then he catches Pike. And that's it.
Apparently Pike comes back.
Yeah, and Tina decides that she's going to continue working with him. Because at first Barry was like, I don't want these powers. And then he's like, I need to use these powers.
I can go get Thai food really quickly now.
With my new almost girlfriend, who's a widow. Yeah, it is a weird show.
Let's talk about that running visual effects, though. Loved it.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like the Weird Al music video for Gump when Forrest is running. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the logo for the show looks pretty much like Flash Gordon. It's a weird show. I got to the end of it and was like, would I want to watch another episode of it?
Oh, see, at the opposite, I'm like, yeah,
like,
we'll watch more of this. Also, did you think that he was going to eat Pike? That's what I was waiting for. What's like when he and Pike's like, oh no, my blood sugar's low. It's like, I need to eat something. It's like, maybe he'll eat Pike for energy. That was exciting. Wow. I was just like, yeah, cannibalism, Flash. He can't stop you if you're moving too fast.
Okay. Yeah, that went to a weird cannibalism plays, Devin.
It's what the viewers crave.
Yeah. I mean, part of it was also, I could go and watch The Simpsons on Disney Plus.
It's true. Or that Jeff Goldblum show.
And so I went and watched.
Which is okay.
Yeah, but Jeff Goldblum now has all the allegations coming
out against him? Since when?
Yeah. They've been coming out for a month, and it's been kept relatively low, but there's basically a bunch of women who said that Jeff Goldblum did a lot of inappropriate stuff with them. And then, yeah, nobody really listened to them because it's Jeff Goldblum, who people saw as one of the last, good actors. Good in terms of not doing awful stuff.
Who doesn't do awful stuff, though? John Wesley Shipp.
World's
nicest human being.
Yeah, because you got to go and meet John Wesley Shipp
this past weekend
recently.
From when we recorded this. Yes. Though it was not to have anything to do with The Flash, because who the hell cares? It is to talk with, meet him about his most prolific of all works, which is the hit 1990s television program Dawson's Creek, in which he plays the best character of the entire show, Mitch, Dawson's father, who we sadly lose in season 5 in the infamous episode where he dies by being hit by a truck as he is trying to pick up his ice cream cone from the passenger seat floor. R.I.P. Mitch. Apparently it was because there was not enough good storylines for the adult characters, and Mitch wanted out. But all the writers apparently regret killing him off in that way, because that was a fucking stupid way to get rid of a character.
But it's also really very much big mood.
I mean, I don't know. Parts of it were confusing because at the same time, I'm sorry, I don't know what the state of your car is. If ice cream hit your passenger seat floor, are you still going to eat it? The answer is no, I'm not. There's juice on there.
No, but you can try and clean it up.
While you're driving, you're going to do that?
I mean, maybe try and stop it from spreading more? It depends on where I am mentally.
I suppose that's fair. He was mad at his son Dawson because Dawson was going to drop out of film school to get back with Joey, which was a mistake because she was the worst. Dawson can do better.
I'm glad Barry didn't allow his son to do that. So, yeah. That's our John Wesley Shipp moment.
Know
Devin's John Wesley Shipp
that the creators and writers of Freaks and Geeks wrote the first season of Dawson's Creek, which is why the first season is by far better than all the other ones. Yes, well, they did.
No.
Which you can tell with the quality of the writing. Also, Mitch is the holiest of characters because he gets cheated on by his bitch of a wife, Gail. And then Dawson is mad at Mitch because Mitch moves out of the house and acts like he's the bad guy when Mitch did nothing wrong. He was also going to create a fantastic seafood restaurant. It was very nautically themed, and I was very into it. He had drawings. Also, I'm positive that it's a tie-in to the Flash show, and that this was actually a Flash villain who was driving the truck that kills Mitch. Coming out for revenge.
Fair.
Yep.
Fair. Favorite moments of the show. I liked when it was like, oh, we're going to look at your muscles, and then it was a 1990s ass computer, and it's like, this is a muscle, and it's just rectangles.
Honestly, the writing animation is probably just the best. We're just kind of like him just like looking around, looking confused as he's running.
Or the scenes where Barry talks to his dog and is like, hey, you want to go for a run? And the dog just knows it is trained to pull the cord on the door to shut the door and hide. Or that really weird scene where Barry is like, oh, I'm going to try and clean my apartment, and then it just gets worse. Or that
phenomenal scene where he's talking to the cops when he's like out right after he's like busting the one woman. He's like, oh, my dog escaped. Oh, and bit me on the leg. Hey, is that your dog upstairs? Oh, he must have come home. And then as he goes inside, the two cops get mad at each other because they both think the other one ate all the donuts, when in fact Barry ate
them. Barry's high as hell.
That was a great moment.
Anyways, if you have the DC Universe app or other ways to watch the show, you can do worse. There's much worse.
Also, the
DC
thing I was surprised about
there.
the most, especially just for like how they cast now, with some exceptions, just like dang, they actually cast like someone to play the Fat Flash who's already like in their mid-30s.
Oh, I also like the scene where Flash had eaten 6 pizzas and the pizza guy comes out and is like, hey, you want some more pizzas? Yeah. And the Flash was like, no. So that's the Flash. Whoa.
Who's apparently coming back in the big crossover special.
Yeah, well, and I mean, John Wesley Shipp has played Jay Garrick on the show, as well as Flash's dad.
But apparently in the new crossover, he will be actually 90s Flash Barry Allen. Yeah.
More power to him.
And apparently there's a scene which,
Devin,
I don't know if it's already aired. I don't think it's aired yet. I think it's going to be like in the special, or maybe it did air and I don't know. Because he was talking about how it was really a weird scene to shoot because he was being more of like one of the more modern Flash characters. But it takes place in the 90s, so he's supposed to kind of act like his 90s Flash character. But then to emphasize that it's the 90s, the TV is on. And on the TV, Dawson's Creek. He was like, yeah, that was a weird acting scene. Because like all my characters were like in one scene, and I didn't like it. It was really hard to act against. It is.
Fantastic. So, Devin,
you can find me online at FredFFSFREDDO at VTT, and you can also hear me co-hosting Multiversal Q with with the co-host of this episode, Luke, and we also do the Exiled podcast, which just wrapped up or is about to wrap up, depending on when this episode is going up. It's fun. There'll be annuals. You can still hear more. And Luke, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Koltreg. That's KOLTREG. I also run the RPG Pals Club podcast at rpgpals.club, which is a 5e D&D podcast. Devin and I, like you mentioned, do Multiversal Q/Ultiversal Q, where we're going through all of the Ultimate Universe bit by bit. And, we're getting to some rough parts. And I don't have anything officially announced, just rumors in the rumor mill. But that's where you can find us.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Will Smith laugh. Ha 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 ha. Yep, that's the Flash.
Nice.
Catch you on the flip mode.
Peace.